The only thing in the mainstream media this last week has been the latest iteration in the 3,000-year-old ongoing territorial dispute between two different ethnic groups halfway around the world. But I'm an American, so I care about America. And yes, sadly, our elected officials have stuck America's nose in other people's business for decades, so it may ultimately become our problem. But we have problems here already. Like the Biden regime throwing a Trump supporter in federal prison for 7 months for the supposed crime of posting this meme on Twitter back in 2016, joking that the Democrats were so dumb that they could text in their vote and skip the line. So I covered this when he was indicted and when he was convicted, and now he has been sentenced. The guy's name is Douglas Mackey, who went by Ricky Vaughn on Twitter, sentenced to 7 months in federal prison. The New York Times, the man who spread misinformation on Trump's behalf, sentenced to 7 months. ABC News, Twitter influencer sentenced for trying to trick Clinton supporters into voting by text. I'm sorry, but if anybody is that dumb to actually believe some random meme on the internet that you can vote for the presidential election by text message, they shouldn't be allowed to vote at all. The Southern Poverty Law Center got mad at me for helping raise thousands of dollars for Douglas Mackey's defense 2 years ago when he was first indicted, calling me a far-right YouTuber who directed donors to Mackey's Give, Send, Go page. Dice included a link to Mackey's Give, Send, Go page in the description of the video on YouTube, which received nearly 250,000 views. You're right, I did. And if we're fortunate enough to take back the White House next year, then it's only fair that the Trump Justice Department indict this woman for the same apparent crime now for joking about how to vote in the election if you're part of the other team. Christina Wong, a supposed comedian, posted this, the same joke that goes around social media every election year, from both sides, from Republicans and Democrats, where they just joke that, oh, remember, she says, that Republicans vote on Wednesday, when the election, of course, is on a Tuesday, which means that technically she is committing election interference, and now she, too, deserves 7 months in federal prison. It's time that we start giving Democrats a taste of their own medicine. Actually, it's long since past due, but these are the rules that they want to play by, so let's play. But there are signs that the pendulum may be swinging back in the other direction in the culture war, because Victoria's Secret, who went woke and started hiring supposed models that look like Rosie O'Donnell, have decided to go back to their roots of actually hiring beautiful women. It's not been enough to carry the day. Why the Victoria's Secret rebrand is over. Well, it's over because they went woke and then they went broke. And while that doesn't happen in every industry, in the beauty industry, instead of using actual beautiful women as models, you change and start using women like this, who is an actual Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition model, or this, then I don't know what else you should expect. Things got so crazy in Weimar America that Playboy magazine put a gay man on the cover of Playboy magazine. South Park couldn't even make this up if they tried. This from 2021. Bretman Rock becomes Playboy's first gay male cover star. The social media influencer and makeup guru, oh, he's probably a makeup YouTuber or a makeup Instagrammer, is the first gay man to appear on the magazine's cover. And this seems like satire as well, but it's not, because this is what neoconservatism does to somebody's brain. This is Joel Pollack, who is the senior editor of Breitbart.com, which is, or at least was, a fantastic website. And they posted an article about Republicans in Congress trying to pass a bill to prevent any of the Palestinian refugees from coming to America because, well, there's probably a 50% chance that they would be a terrorist. And so he says, I disagree with this. We should give civilians from Gaza temporary refuge during the war, as long as they're not a threat. The same Joel Pollack who posted this on Twitter just days earlier, announcing to the world that he broke the Sabbath and Jewish holiday, because a lot of Orthodox Jews don't use technology on Saturday, the Sabbath, from sun up till sundown. He says, to deliver this message, I'm not even going to read it, otherwise it'll be attributed to me, violated Twitter's terms of service. He basically called for God, like, not basically, he literally, you can read it for yourself, called for Gaza to be completely destroyed. And then, of course, when there's no place for those people, the survivors, to go, well, as long as they're not Israel's problem, he doesn't mind if they're America's problem. I better bite my tongue before I mention any more uncomfortable facts that usually get people canceled. But you'll be able to read about it in my new book, which is coming out in about 2.5 weeks, I think November 7th. So stay tuned for that. And now the First Minister of Scotland, who is basically like the President of Scotland, who is a Muslim, who is the son of Pakistani immigrants over there in Scotland, is saying that Scotland is ready to accept the Palestinians from Gaza. Of course he is. I mean, here he is previously complaining that there are too many white people in Scotland.
Most senior positions in Scotland are filled almost exclusively by those who are white. Take my portfolio alone. The Lord President, white. The Lord Justice Clerk, white. Every High Court judge, white. The Lord Advocate, white. The Solicitor General, white. The Chief Constable, white.
Imagine if a white person or any non-Asian person were to go to China or Japan and get elected into their government and then start complaining that there are just too many Asians in the country and then start demanding that they import other ethnic groups for more diversity. Of course, that's another taboo topic that I do examine in detail in my new book, which, like I said, is coming soon. And while Chunk Uyghur over at the Young Turks YouTube channel, who is pretending to run for president, hoping to get some attention for himself, is vehemently against the border wall here in the United States to protect us from all the problems in Mexico. Of course, he supports a border wall between Israel and Palestine.
When do we say, for God's sake, let's separate? Please, please, please separate. We cannot live together. It's obvious in that area, okay?
In that area, only in that area. But bring them all here. Bring everybody here. And I mean, we'll just get along fine. I mean, there's no intercultural conflicts in the United States. Never has been. Right, Chunk?
I would build the largest walls you've ever seen in your life. You like walls? I'll give you walls.
Only over there, though. Of course, not here. Meanwhile, Joe Biden's brain isn't the only thing that's failing. His face also isn't working. I'm not sure what is going on, and I don't want to know what is going on with his chin. But this is him talking with the press after his visit over there in Israel. And you can see that his horrified staff is looking on, wishing that he would have just stayed in bed. And last night he gave an Oval Office address live on television that interrupted the regularly scheduled programming on all of the major news networks, where he announced that he wants Congress to approve $100 billion in aid, more aid, for Israel and Ukraine. We've been giving Israel $5 billion a year, I think, for the last 75 years. So hey, what's another 100 billion? But Ben Shapiro, the darling of conservative Inc., mainstream conservative media, the brand names, has always said that Israel could take care of themselves.
They say that I want America to fight wars for Israel. Nope. Nope. First of all, Israel can take care of herself.
A few moments later.
If Israel is forced to the wall, the possibility of nuclear exchange is extremely high. That is why it is very important that the United States provide the material aid to Israel.
Oh, so if we don't get involved now, that might spark a nuclear war. Of course, the flip side to that argument is if we do get involved, that may very well spark a nuclear war. This is another one of those sensitive topics that could easily get you canceled if you happen to say the wrong thing. So, of course, I articulately detail it in my new book, which, like I said, is coming soon. But until then, order your Wanted for President shirt from my online store at markdice.com or click the link in the description below and check it out.